Summary of poem Digging by Seamus Heaney. Digging by Seamus Heaney is a reflective poem that delves into themes of heritage, identity, and the transformative power of writing. Through vivid imagery and personal anecdotes, Heaney juxtaposes the manual labor of his forefathers with his own craft as a poet. The poem opens with the image of a pen held between the poet's fingers, likened to a gun, hinting at its potential power. This metaphor sets the stage for a contemplation of the tools of one's trade. As Heaney observes his father digging in the garden, he is transported back in time, recalling his father's and grandfather's skillful labor in the potato fields and turf bogs. These memories are rich with sensory details, capturing the physicality and expertise of their work. Heaney's father and grandfather are depicted as masters of their craft, embodying a tradition of hard work and proficiency. However, Heaney acknowledges that he does not possess a spade to follow in their footsteps. Instead, he holds a pen, which becomes his tool for digging into his past, exploring his heritage, and making his own impact. The pen symbolizes a break from the tradition of manual labor, yet it also signifies a continuation of the family legacy in a different form. Through writing, Heaney seeks to honor his ancestors' work while carving out his own path. The poem ultimately underscores the evolution of labor across generations and the different ways individuals can connect to their roots and contribute to their lineage. It celebrates the dignity of manual labor while asserting the value of intellectual and artistic pursuits. Heaney's decision to dig with his pen reflects a broader commentary on the ways we honor our heritage and forge our own identities. By embracing the power of the written word, Heaney finds a way to bridge the gap between the past and the present, showing that all forms of labor, whether physical or intellectual, hold significance and value. In sum, digging is a poignant meditation on family, tradition, and the ways in which we can honor our past while pursuing our own unique paths. Line-by-line explanation of the poem Digging by Seamus Heaney. Stanza 1. The poem begins with the image of Heaney holding a pen between his fingers, comparing it to a gun. This metaphor suggests the pen's power and potential, setting the stage for the poet's reflection on his role and the nature of his work. The pen symbolizes the writer's tool, with the snug as a gun comparison highlighting its importance and capability. Stanza 2. Heaney describes the sound of his father digging in the garden beneath his window. The clean rasping sound of the spade cutting into the ground creates a vivid auditory image, anchoring the reader in the physicality of the scene. Heaney's gaze downward connects him to his father's labor and sets up a reflection on familial work traditions. Stanza 3. Heaney observes his father's physical effort and rhythmic movement while digging, which transports him back in time to when his father worked in the potato fields. The description of the father's posture and movement emphasizes the continuity of labor through generations, illustrating the physical demands of the work. Stanza 4. This stanza details the technical aspects of his father's digging technique. The coarse boot and levered shaft depict the practicality and skill involved. Heaney reminisces about picking new potatoes, recalling their coolness and tactile pleasure. The sensory details bring to life the experience of working with the earth and the joy of handling the harvested potatoes. Stanza 5. Heaney praises his father's proficiency with the spade, drawing a parallel to his grandfather's skill. This comparison highlights a lineage of expertise and respect for manual labor within the family, showing the pride Heaney feels in his ancestors' abilities. Stanza 6. Heaney reflects on his grandfather's exceptional skill at cutting turf, recounting a memory of bringing him milk. The vivid description of the grandfather's precise work and the physical effort involved underscores the traditional and esteemed nature of his labor. This memory reinforces the connection to his family's legacy. Stanza 7. Heaney evokes the sensory experiences of working with potatoes and peat, which trigger memories of his forebears' labor. Despite these vivid recollections, Heaney acknowledges that he does not possess a spade, symbolizing a divergence from the physical work of his ancestors. Stanza 8. The poem concludes by returning to the image of the pen, reaffirming its importance. Heaney declares that he will dig with his pen, embracing writing as his form of labor. This final statement connects his role as a writer to the tradition of manual work, demonstrating how he continues to honor his heritage through his own craft. Structure. Stanza layout. Number of stanzas. The poem consists of 8 stanzas. Each stanza varies in length, which contributes to the fluid and conversational tone of the poem. Stanza length. The length of the stanzas ranges from 4 to 8 lines. This irregularity mirrors the natural flow of memory and thought, emphasizing the personal and reflective nature of the poem. Line structure. Line length. The poem features lines of varying lengths, which helps create a rhythmic and organic feel. The variability in line length contributes to the poem's conversational style and reflects the free-form nature of Heaney's reflection on his heritage. End stopping and enjambment. Heaney uses both end stopping and enjambment throughout the poem. End-stopped lines provide a sense of closure and emphasis, while enjambment allows for the continuation of thought and adds to the poem's flow and rhythm. Rhyme and meter. Free verse. The poem is written in free verse, meaning it does not follow a specific rhyme scheme or meter. This allows Heaney the freedom to use language and imagery in a more natural and expressive way, reflecting the personal and contemplative nature of the poem. Imagery and description. Descriptive imagery. The poem is rich in sensory imagery, including auditory, tactile, and olfactory details. Heaney's descriptions of sounds, textures, and smells create vivid mental images that draw the reader into the speaker's memories and reflections. Tone and voice. Reflective and personal tone. The tone of the poem is reflective and personal, as the speaker reminisces about his father and grandfather's work. This personal voice adds depth to the exploration of familial legacy and the poet's own role. Narrative perspective. The poem is written from the first-person perspective, which allows for an intimate exploration of the speaker's thoughts and memories. This perspective underscores the personal connection to the subject matter. Thematic development. Contrast and connection. The structure of the poem contrasts the speaker's own work with that of his ancestors. By juxtaposing his role as a writer with the physical labor of his father and grandfather, Heaney explores themes of heritage, identity, and the power of writing. Circular structure. The poem's structure comes full circle, beginning and ending with the image of the pen. This circularity emphasizes the connection between past and present and the continuity of the speaker's engagement with his heritage through writing. Themes. Heritage and legacy. The central theme of Digging is the exploration of heritage and familial legacy. Heaney reflects on the manual labor performed by his father and grandfather, acknowledging their skills and the tradition they represent. The poem honors their work while highlighting the continuity and changes in the family's labor practices. Identity and craft. The poem examines the speaker's identity and his role in the family tradition. By choosing to dig with a pen rather than a spade, Heaney contrasts his own intellectual and artistic pursuits with the physical labor of his ancestors. This theme explores how individuals can connect to their heritage while forging their own paths. The power of the pen. Heaney celebrates the power of writing as a form of labor that can explore, preserve, and honor the past. The pen symbolizes the poet's tool for digging into memories and experiences, suggesting that intellectual and artistic work is a meaningful extension of the family's legacy. Connection to the past. The poem illustrates how personal and familial histories shape one's identity and work. Through detailed recollections and sensory imagery, Heaney connects his current work to the traditions and labor of previous generations, showing how the past influences the present.
About the poet. Seamus Heaney was born on April 13, 1939, in County Derry, Northern Ireland. He is renowned for his profound contributions to modern literature and is celebrated as one of the greatest poets of the 20th century. Heaney's early life on a farm deeply influenced his poetry, infusing it with rich imagery of rural life and the natural world. His work often explores themes of history, identity, and the human connection to the land. In 1995, Heaney was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his works of lyrical beauty and ethical depth. Some of his most acclaimed collections include Death of a Naturalist and The Spirit Level. Beyond poetry, Heaney was also an accomplished translator and essayist. His legacy endures through his distinctive voice and insightful reflections on the human experience, cementing his place as a seminal figure in contemporary literature.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.